All right. Welcome back to the Nate Dogg 916 show. I already did a separate intro. You guys already know. I'm doing it different this time because it's a special guest. First of all, good morning, Mr. Ori Spado. How are you doing today, sir?
Good morning, Nate. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. I'm enjoying this California weather. A little misty outside right now.
Yeah, it's a little overcast here.
Yeah. So, first of all, thanks for coming on the channel. I really appreciate you sharing your story with a small channel like mine. But why don't you tell us a little bit about, first of all, Mr. Ori Spado's childhood, where you grow up, where you from, what's that about?
I grew up in a town called Rome, New York. It's about right in center of New York State. It was a good little town. Grew up in duplex home. Me, my siblings on one side, my grandparents and uncles on the other. And it was a great neighborhood. I attended school, graduated from Rome Free Academy, and I joined the Army at the age of 18. And probably the best 3 years of my life. I recommend the military for any young man because it teaches you discipline and respect.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people, young men, do not have today.
Yes, sir. I totally believe that myself, and I'm all behind teaching discipline and respect at a young age. It's really helpful tool for later in life.
After the Army, I ended up going back to Rome, New York. My father was ill. He wanted me to come back to California. I didn't have the money. I said, give me a job at Revere because my father had a lot of pull there.
Right.
And I said, I'll work the night shift, save my money.
Yeah.
After 3 weeks and 3 days, I didn't save a goddamn nickel.
Right.
I paid it, blew all my money.
Right.
And I left there after 3 weeks and 3 days.
Mm.
And then I went to a company called Kelsey Hayes. I stayed there a few months. And then I went into the insurance business. I worked for the Prudential Insurance Company. And it was something that I loved. Began there in the 60s. And I was a member of the $1 Million Roundtable.
Wow.
I was very successful. And then as life progressed, things happened. I began a company called the Ori Agency. I had over 250 automobile dealers in New York as a client.
Wow. Okay. And this is all selling them insurance?
No, I was teaching them. I was one of the pioneers in what they call the TO system and automobile dealerships today.
Oh, okay.
Years ago, when you went, you bought a car, a salesman showed you the car, he demoed the car, he sat down with you, and he did all the paperwork.
Yes, sir.
That's how it used to be. Today, you go in, they got somebody that demos the car, and then they'll turn you over to they'll call. They got all sorts of names: business manager, finance manager.
Yeah, right.
It's all a bunch of crap.
Right.
All right, but the whole idea was you wanted to pay cash for your car. We would teach you you're better off to finance it through us, and then we would sell you different products. And I used to be, back in those days, I would teach a dealer how to sell a car at cost and still net $2,000.
Wow, that's a good profit back in those days.
That was big profit back then.
Okay, so first of all, everybody who's watching, if you're on Instagram, go to the Accidental Gangster at Instagram. It's Mr. Ori Spado's Instagram page. Go like, subscribe, check it out. If you're interested, look at the book. Look it up on Amazon right now. The Accidental Gangster by Ori Spado. Go and purchase that book and learn the whole story of this man's life. Because we're not going to get into all of it, but we're just going to give you guys something to tease and get you to go buy that book and get the real story. So you're selling it.
Go to also my website, www.theaccidentalgangster.com.
There you go. Check it out on the website as well. I'll have it all in the description and go purchase the book. learn about it instead of just hearing all the stories about it. But so you're teaching car salesmen how to make better money, car dealerships actually how to make better money. You're selling insurance. You're you're sitting at $1 million table, so your hands are touching a lot of people's money. And like your book title says, Accidental Gangster. So obviously, all this led to something that got you into some gangster shit. Excuse my language.
Well, yes, it did. My friend, a very dear friend of mine, Frank Russo,
yes, sir.
who his father and my father were good friends, both from Calabria, Italy.
Yes, sir.
Both his father and my father were made men in the mafia. Not my father, I take that back, my grandfather.
Yes, sir.
And but you know, they didn't want it for the rest of the family. But as it is, Frank Russo, he and I traveled to New York a couple times a month. He introduced me to a lot of people, including Frank Costello, Russell Buffalino. He introduced me to Ralph Serpi and Dino De Laurentiis, who were film producers, very big.
Right.
And I ended up in Hollywood, long story short.
Yes, sir.
And then before you know it, people were calling me for favors, settling situations with actors, agency, studio, whatever it prevailed.
Right.
And I was exceptionally good at it.
Right.
Of handling problems and never having hurt anybody. People, when I talked to them, they listened and they understood.
Is there any, excuse my interruption, but is there any story of note that you'd be willing to share without incriminating anyone? Obviously, you didn't have to hurt nobody, so it's not too criminalistic, right? You were just good at what you did.
That's an old story with Frank Sinatra. It was no big deal.
Right.
And he took a little longer to pay $500,000 because not that he didn't have the money.
Yes, sir.
But he did.
This is Frank Sinatra you're talking about.
There's only one Frank Sinatra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he ended up borrowing it from Dean Martin because he couldn't let his wife know.
Right.
That was a funny situation. No, Frank was very cool, very good guy. I like Frank. And we had a lot of conversation together. And Dean Martin, I knew a lot of the old timers that people probably don't even know about today.
Right. So I just can assume that obviously you've met Sammy Davis as well.
Star
right.
Was very big.
Right.
And one of the agencies would not release $2 million to him because the producers were not happy with something, so they did not allow it to be released.
Right.
And one producer was from Vancouver, the other was here in Los Angeles. I met first with the one from Los Angeles, and then I had to meet with both of them, and we came to a happy decision that they decided to release the money.
Right.
To that action star. And I do mention in my thing, and the only reason I mention it, and that I mentioned this situation with Wyclef John was very good friends with Naomi Campbell.
Yes.
And Wyclef asked me, she had a problem and asked if I would meet her. And I remember it was around Christmas time, and I called her up. I was at the Beverly Hills Hotel waiting for somebody. I said, let me run over and see what the problem is. And she happened to be having her Christmas party.
Right.
And her home was behind the Beverly Hills Hotel. Oh, I went over there, met with her. She and I went in her office. She was being stalked by this guy out of Long Island. And she gave me as much information, but she didn't have no address. So I had to find the address to where this guy lived, which I was very good at finding people.
Right.
And
that's saying something back then.
yeah, back then, without the computers and all
Right.
this junk they got today. But I found them. And I sent 2 guys. I called New York. I sent 2 of my guys there. Haitian Jack was living with me at the time. Anybody know of Haitian Jack?
Talking about Haitian Jack? Okay, so no disrespect. I don't know if he's your friend, but you talking about the rat Haitian Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said the word. Good. I'm glad you said it.
Yeah, we know who the rat Haitian Jack is over here in California.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know that he was a rat at this time.
Yeah.
Okay. I introduced him to a lot of people. He was a smooth talking guy. He lived with me until he got his own place.
Right.
It took a year. And anyways, he happened to be on my couch when I had the 2 guys in New York go. They got in the guy's house. They sat him down.
Right.
My instructions were, then get me on the phone, use his phone. No,
right.
Not you. All right. They got me on the phone. And I talked to him. I had a very nice chat. And I explained to him very nicely.
Yes.
All right. And very good terms of that he should not be doing that. He's not to write her. He's not to call her. He's not to do anything, any contact. He's not even to think about her. I said, now I want you to take a look at those 2 gentlemen there.
Right.
They're being very kind to you today. I said, if you pursue and you even think of her, the next time you see these guys, that will be the last faces you'll ever see.
That's gangster.
I said, oh, Jack's hearing me on the couch. I hang up. It's all done. He runs to my dining room table. He calls Naomi. He says he took care of it.
Oh, wow. So he took credit for your work.
Well, Jack took a lot of credit for a lot of people's work.
Okay, and let me excuse me. Let me clarify something real quick because I made a statement about the man being a rat. I haven't seen this man's paperwork. For those who are on my channel, you know how I am about paperwork. I haven't seen this man's paperwork. All I can go on is what I've heard. And Tupac actually put the brother in a song saying a real life tale about a snitch named Haitian Jack. So, you know what I mean? Let's just clarify that.
Because Tupac would have seen the paperwork.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Because
absolutely.
it would have been part of his discovery on his case.
Yes, absolutely.
From what I was told by another guy who was there were 3 guys who had that girl in a hotel room.
Right.
Tupac, Jack, and another guy named Ricky Lee.
Right.
His name is Ricky Durant, the Jamaican kid. Ricky was a very good earner, big earner.
Right.
A lot of marijuana. He got in a lot of trouble.
Right.
He's the guy who was sending it to North Carolina. Ricky Lee was. Let's talk about another rat. Okay? He's selling a guy. He's the leader of the organization. And guess what, when he got caught? He got 5 years. The other guy that he read it, I got 20 years.
Same crime, different trial.
No. Yeah, because he read it.
Oh, yeah.
All right? He got 5 years. They got 20.
Yeah.
But while he was in North Carolina, he also proffered against me. And I got the proper statement somewhere around.
For those who don't know, Proper's making a statement.
A proper statement.
Yes.
And I have one here on Michael Franchese.
Yes, sir.
All right. A proper statement's when, because what happens a lot of times with informants, they might not be on pointing the finger at you because so many guys end up taking plea deals.
Yep.
So a proffer statement is somebody sitting down with the FBI, U.S. attorney, and they got to tell them everything they know about everybody.
Right.
They might say, look at John Doe. I don't know John Doe, but I heard John Doe's dealing cocaine over on the east side, and he's doing a big job.
Yeah, basically a statement under oath.
Yeah. So now what happened? That creates an investigation on John Doe.
Yes, sir.
So even though he might not have directly read it on him,
Right.
he did.
Dry snitching.
That's a proper statement.
Yes. Okay, I understand that completely.
Okay,
So thanks for the clarification.
Somewhere sitting, and I just found out this week. I thought you'd be able to get proper statement. No, they're sealed. You can't get them.
Wow. So only the people who the statements have been made against, if it's a part of your discovery, you can get them?
Right. Only
Okay.
ones that were made against. So
Oh,
like
wow.
I got the ones on Johnny Franchise, Sonny Franchise's son made against me. I have those. I had the one Ricky Lee made against me. I have that because it was part of my
Discovery.
case in Brooklyn.
Right. Wow. Okay. So this dude past him took basically tried to take credit for some work you did for Mr. John and Miss Campbell at the same time. A favor for Mr. John for Miss Campbell, basically. So basically, this is what your thing was a fixer, the Hollywood fixer,
Right.
for stuff that needed to be done. I've heard a lot of stories, but from watching videos and stuff, obviously. So eventually, some things happened that led to you being indicted out here and shipped back to New York.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what you were indicted for because obviously I've done my research, but would you like to share what your actual indictment came down as?
When they indict you on a RICO case, they have to have 2 predicate acts.
Yes, sir.
Number 1, I had a home invasion robbery that they indicted me for, which was not really a home invasion robbery, but
Right.
that's what they called it. And number 2, conspiracy to distribute cocaine,
Right.
50 kilos or more.
Right.
So,
And mind you, this is in 2008, right?
yeah,
Right.
2008, and you know what the guidelines are.
Yeah.
That would have been life in prison.
Right. Absolutely.
How the cocaine conspiracy, there was a guy named Guy Furtado. And nobody knew he was wired. He was very close to Sonny Franchise. Sonny guaranteed him. The kid came out and he's sitting on my couch when Ricky Lee's wife comes over with the 2 Mexicans because Ricky had $500,000 of cocaine that wasn't paid for yet on the streets in Brooklyn.
Yes, sir.
So they wanted me to get it. And I knew the guys that Ricky had sold it to, and they knew me. So I just picked up the phone. They said, Ori, we're not dodging this. But Ricky don't understand. It's taking us longer because we're converting it to crack.
Right.
But we have $100 grand now. Guy Furtado said, I could have somebody go get that right now. He did. He sent me only half the money on the first 100. Never the other 400. Nothing. And my firmly belief who he sent there was the FBI, because he was an informant. But while he's sitting on my couch, and people got to understand, this is how the government can make a conspiracy case.
Right.
He's sitting on my couch. He tells the Mexican that he liked them to give him 50 kilos a month, and everything's got to go through Ori. I never dealt cocaine.
Right.
And now he said, everything's got to go through Ori. You know Ori, this and that. I'll have the truck get across country. You get your money right back. But these guys are not going to give you credit for another 50 kilos when they haven't been paid on the last one yet.
Right.
So he starts that. Then when he goes back to New York, he's talking with the acting captain, his name was Michael Carapano, and he's telling Michael Carapano all the money they're going to make on this big cocaine deal Ori's putting together. I never talked, me and Michael never had a word, basically about anything.
Right.
We're friends, but he and I never discussed it or nothing.
Yes, sir.
But so now, Potato's calling me, every call is recorded. I'm trying to grab 50 grand from him. I said, the guy's got to have some money up front, send me 50 grand. He wouldn't send it. There was no cocaine. I was not going to do the goddamn deal.
Right.
Now, Carapano keeps asking him about what's happening. And he said, he says, I think that fucking Ori is doing the cocaine deal and he's taking all the money himself. Now he pisses off Carapano. Carapano goes to Sonny, you get permission to whack me.
Oh.
And normally Sonny called me up for any fucking thing.
Right.
He didn't call me on this one. If he would have, we would have discovered then the guy Fatato was an informant. Luck be it, Fatato, they had to bring him up because he beat a guy with some other Colombo guys in a card room situation. And he was such a bad informant, they didn't want to use him against me.
Oh.
But now, you got to remember, Michael Carapano and I never discussed cocaine.
Right, ever.
But yet, the two people that got indicted for cocaine conspiracy was me and Michael Carapano.
Together in the same indictment.
On the same indictment.
Right.
We both had that charge.
Right.
And there was no cocaine deal.
Right.
And when it came time for us, they didn't want to use Guy Fatato because he was such a bad informant. They didn't want to use him against me.
So this guy was actually I know he asked for permission to whack you. Was he given given permission?
Carapano. Yes,
Marco Carapano. Okay, did he get permission?
That was on my discovery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
yeah. So mistakes happen. Absolutely. Unfortunately, in some cases, mistakes happen. Yeah.
Cost me my life.
Absolutely. That's what I was about to say. Unfortunately, in this lifestyle, my old lifestyle as well, and I'm sure even on a whole different level in your old lifestyle, the wrong words getting said to the wrong person can end up with somebody being missing.
Right.
Me personally, I was just a regular street gang member, but that didn't mean somebody couldn't get shot in the face. But it's levels.
Who knows what could have happened if we didn't get indicted?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then it would have been blown out.
Right. So you guys get indicted together, and you end up getting obviously. Actually, I don't want to tell the story because I've done a lot of research, so I don't want to tell the story. So you get indicted. What happened in federal court? What happened in court?
What happened in court was
For you.
I got very lucky because when we went to trial, Sonny's lawyer wanted to use that discovery where Sonny was going to whack me, gave permission to whack me. He tried to get me to stop using it, preclude me from using it. And he wanted Sonny severed from the case. Right. Well, the judge said there's no way I'm severing Mr. Franche, but I read a motion Mr. Spado wrote, and maybe Mr. Spado should be severed.
You wrote your own motions?
Huh?
You wrote your own motions?
Yes.
Salute. Yeah.
I wrote my own motions, and I submitted my motion against my attorney's wishes.
Right.
People just rely on their attorneys for everything. Don't.
Right.
Because you're only one person, and they're on to the next. Okay?
Yeah. So did they sever you this time?
Huh?
Did they sever you from his case at that time?
So now the judge says, he looks at the U.S. attorney, says, you got till noon tomorrow to convince me why I should not sever Mr. Spado from this trial.
Right.
Now you got to remember, both my crimes were here in Los Angeles.
Right.
Okay? Both of them.
Now you guys were indicted in New York.
Remember, I lived in Los Angeles over 40 years.
Right.
So where are my peers?
Yes, sir. Right.
Because you're supposed to have a jury of your peers.
Yes.
My peers are here in Los Angeles,
Right.
not in Brooklyn.
Right.
And so the next day, the judge says, Mr. Spado, I had to deny your motion for severance.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do, Mr. Spado, if you can explain the legal definitions, that information that you want to get thrown out could also be used for you or against you.
Right.
If you can explain that in legal terms.
Right.
I stood up. I explained to him what exculpatory and inculpatory meant.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Mr. Spado, I'm convinced. What do you want? I said, I'll take the severance. And that was a lucky day, because if that did not happen, I'd still be in prison right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's goes to show everybody that you could do it the legal way and beat them instead of ratting, period. But yeah.
Question about me writing my own motions.
Yeah.
While in Brooklyn, just happened to be at the time where there were tons of guys in there, Italian guys from all the 5 families. And, you know, a lot of the guys took their case serious. And who wrote this most, who wrote that. And we would take each other's and copy that part.
Right.
So
Right.
And that's how we did it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I know. Okay. So I don't know if you know anything. I mean, I did 17 years in the state, in California.
That's
prison here. I did 17 straight, all the maximum security. So yeah, and I worked in the law library. I've seen how, I know how to do habeas corpus. I know how to do the state side of the legal.
You know that. Okay.
And so I know that we all go around and, okay, that worked for you. That got passed for you. Let me see what you wrote. And we just change the names and, flip them. Yeah, I understand how the legal work works, but a lot of people don't take the time to get in there and do that. So that's why I salute you for that. Like you said, a lot of people like to depend on their attorneys.
Look at Free Ricky Ross.
Yeah.
He didn't even know how to read or write.
Right.
He had to learn that first, and then he started doing his legal work. Otherwise, he'd still be in prison.
Yeah, I'm trying to lock in with him now, believe me. Yeah, so okay, so you get the 5 years. What did they actually convict you for?
A 924C charge, gun charge.
Oh, a gun charge. A federal gun charge?
Said he saw me give a gun to my other co-defendant, who's still in. He gets out in 2 months. No, he gets out in 2 weeks. I take it back, finally. He caught another charge in prison.
Right. It happens.
But young kid, Albania, he's been in there over 11 years.
Oh,
but it was another kid. He said he never saw me give the gun.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Did I give the gun to this guy? Maybe it was a fake gun. It wasn't even a real gun.
Yeah, could have been a toy.
All right.
Yeah.
But he was on the patio when I took the guy in the bedroom. He didn't see me.
Right.
But the FBI told him to say, see me.
Right.
No
proof.
So
feds work different, man.
So I took a plea for 97 months.
Okay.
And
97 months.
what happened was,
yes, sir.
When I went for sentencing, the judge, first thing he says, Mr. Spado, in sentencing guys like you in organized crime cases, he says, oftentimes, he says, and you're one of the cases, I feel like I'm sentencing 2 different guys, 2 different people.
The one they see and the one they're reading about?
There's, on one hand, we got a guy here that takes care of his family, loves his family, his friends, his business associate. But on the other hand, we got a guy that's very violent. He says, and anybody can dispatch people anywhere in the world is a violent person to me.
Mm-hmm.
He says, so therefore, he says, on the robbery charge, I sentence you to 60 days. That part was 37 months.
Right.
He says 60 days. He says, and the reason for that, I feel the U.S. attorney charged you twice for the same crime.
No.
He says, on the 924C gun charge, my hands are tied by Congress. I had to give you the minimum mandatory sentence of 60 months.
Right.
So I got 62 months. 4 years supervised release. And it was like winning a freaking lottery, trust me.
So how much did you actually have to go to a prison?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. So you got the 5 years plus the 4 year supervised release.
You're right. So I ended
Okay.
up after 30 months in Brooklyn, MDC,
Yes, sir.
which after that I was sent, after my sentencing, then I was sent to Lompoc for the remainder of the time.
Oh, I've heard of this place.
Huh?
I've heard of that. Yeah, Lompoc. Yeah. Lompoc. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I've heard of this place. That's in California?
That's in California,
right.
way north. Actually, it's the most further west location of the U.S. Further west. It's just right out there. It's, I got no desire to go back north.
Right, absolutely.
But no, it was good there. It wasn't bad.
Let me see. I don't even know where. I actually don't even know where that's at. That's crazy that I've been to so many prisons, but I've never been to a U.S. prison. I've only been to state prison.
State prison.
Yeah, I've only been to state. Oh, okay, that's where it's at. I was right by there. Okay. Wow.
Found it?
Yeah, I found it. I see it's way down. It's way down at the bottom. It's down there by what I would consider. It's like in between Santa Barbara and Santa Maria.
Right.
Okay, I see where it's at. Yeah.
The air base there.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's actually on an air base?
Yeah, Edwards, I think it is. Isn't
Oh,
it?
okay. Yeah, I want to see that part. Oh, Vandenberg Air Force Base?
Vandenberg, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so you went to Lompoc Prison. It's a pretty popular as far as name. As far as I know, criminals we know about Lompoc Prison. We've heard about it. But from what I heard, it was like a rough place. But I guess it was.
No, they got the medium,
Okay.
the camp, and the USB.
Oh, okay. So, using the medium. Okay, so, but I mean, from what I've heard about Fed time, I don't know. Fed time is time is time. Don't get me wrong. But I hear Fed time is a little more doable if you're just doing your time.
Yeah. Well, you did state time in California, which
Yes,
is
sir.
one of the roughest places in the country.
Yes, sir.
New York used to be, but they changed it totally now.
Right.
In New York, my understanding is you get your own cell. You're allowed to buy a little TV.
Yeah.
You're allowed X number of pounds of food every month from the outside.
Yep.
None of that happens in federal prison.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, no.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, no. And there's no smoking.
Okay, there's no smoking here in California. But you guys don't get packages?
No.
Oh, okay. Wow. So it's just everything you get comes from there?
Got to come from the commissary.
Right. Okay. Well, we used to when I first went to prison, I went to prison in 97. We used to be able to get packages directly from home, like there was certain guidelines, of course, but we can get a package straight from home. That they end up changing that around 2002 to where you had to order from approved vendors. But we still got packages from outside, which was a good thing.
But you couldn't get your eyeglasses outside.
Oh.
You didn't get nothing outside.
Okay, so everything was prison generated,
Gotta be
basically.
bought in the prison.
Right. Okay, so you did your. I'm assuming. I mean, you're an OG, man, and when I say OG, it's a sign of respect coming from me. Please understand that. You. Yeah, you are OG, so I'm sure your time went by pretty much smooth. One being who you are, two being original in this shit. So when you got out, man, first of all, how long you been out now? What?
I got on 2013.
Okay, right before me. Okay. So
And
yeah,
it's been quite good. I mean, I stayed clean. I wrote my book,
yes, sir.
and yeah, life is good.
Yeah, and I mean, I.
Now I ever did in my life.
Pardon me.
The hardest work I ever done in my life, I'm doing right now.
Yes, sir.
Age of 75.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, man. It's people that don't even dream about making it to 75, man. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you on my channel. I appreciate you so much for taking the time to give me an interview, man. I hope your book does even better numbers than it's already doing, man. And this is a landmark for my channel. This is different, going in a different direction, and I appreciate that. That you shared, man, that you shared, and that you're out living like you said, living hard, but you're living right. You know what I mean? It's harder to do it the right way, and I understand that because that's what I've been doing for the last 5.5 years. So
God bless you for doing that, and all the respect, all my respect for you to do that.
Thank you, sir.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy as people think to turn their life around after you're accustomed to a certain life.
Yeah, all I knew was drugs and gangs for all my life until I got out.
Gangs. Where are you in gangs? Northern California?
Yeah, Del Paso Heights, California, Sacramento. Yes, sir.
So
Sacramento, California.
All the gangs there. I was New York and Los Angeles, but and I know a lot of guys that you probably know, and the gangs. I knew Suge Knight very well.
Right.
Which is in my book that people could read.
Right. Story about Suge in the book. Well, check it out. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'll put the links to the and I'll have them scrolling across the page. You guys already know how I get down. I'm sure you know what a shout out is, or if you want to send a shout out or respect to anybody out there before I close this interview. That would be a great time.
Well, I got to give a lot of respect for my guy Sonny Franchise. He's 102 years old. He'll be 103 next month.
Salute.
And he's in a nursing home in Queens. We talked a few times.
Yes, sir.
Give all my respect to Suge Knight. Suge, I do think of you. If you hear this.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Could they see these things in state prison?
Yo, there's ways. There's ways. I had one of these when I was in there, so it's ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So. One more question. You can answer it. I don't know the rules about whether or not you can answer, but I've been wondering this since I started talking about doing this interview. Were you ever a made man? And is that okay to ask that question or answer that question?
You could ask that question, and you could read about that in my book.
There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. There it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want the answer, go buy the book, The Accidental Gangster. Thank you again, sir. I salute you, man.
Hey, all my respect to you, buddy.
Y'all stay loyal, man. Y'all know what it is.